if you've been posting, if you've been showing up, if you feel like you've been doing all the work, but your marketing just isn't landing, you're not getting the responses, you're not getting the results, this episode is going to really help. And hopefully it's going to hit home and help you to change a few things, because equine business doesn't follow normal marketing rules. The industry is emotional, it's seasonal, it's relationship driven, and full of customers who think they know what they need until you just show them the truth. So today I'm going to break down why your marketing isn't connecting and 3 things that you can do to help make it work and to work better. And of course, as we're going into this, I'm recording this in February. So I want to let you know before we dive in that February means the end of the month, we have got the National Equine Show. So I will be this year again at the National Equine Show on the 28th and the 1st of March with the Equestrian Business Support Network on the stand. I've got loads of great stuff and I am giving away my new book, which I have just written, which is called The Equine Business Reset. So do come and grab the book. If you aren't going and you want the book, also stay tuned. I'm going to share probably in the next few episodes, not today because it's not ready yet. I'm going to share how you can get that online as well. Right. Anyway, let's get into today's episode.
You're listening to the Equine Business Podcast. Practical business support for equine business owners. With Jenni Bush, the Equine Business Mentor.
So we're talking why your marketing isn't landing and some things that you could do to fix it. Okay, so there's a few mistakes that we need to go through. But the first thing that I want to do is to tell you that marketing is not about how everybody tells you to do it. In a strange way, I want you to decide what marketing works for you, because you have a choice. There are so many ways that we can be visible. So you don't have to be on all the places. You don't have to be on social media all the time. You don't have to do Facebook if you really hate it. But you do have to be visible and you do have to show up in a way, in a place that's going to help you. And ideally the place where your ideal client is and you can reach them, because this is what matters the absolute most. Now, I was talking to a client yesterday. She used to use Facebook, she used to use Instagram, she'd do all of those things. But what happened is the more that she did that, the more she hated Facebook. It was just so noisy and she'd actually switched off. She's working on just using her blog, she's working on using her email, and that is working fine for her right now. So if you are like, I can't deal with social media right now, there's so much going on in the world. And I get it, like it's so political, there's some real nasty stuff going. Like sometimes the energy is really, really heavy. So if that's you, we can find better ways to market your business that are going to work for you. So please don't think I'm just talking about social media here, because I'm not. So the first thing we need to talk about is that most equine businesses are talking to the wrong level of awareness. So you might be putting out tips and education and value, and they're all going out to people who don't even realize they've got the problem. They don't understand the cost of not taking action, and they don't know that there is actually a solution and you are it. And they don't know that you offer that solution. And that is like level 3. So if you imagine your marketing pillars. Now, I like to think about a mountain block in this scenario. This is the way that my brain works. I think about everything in horsey terms. So if you think about a mountain block, you've got people who are on different levels. So people at the top are ready to move on. They're ready to do stuff. People on the second step, some of them could get on and work with you. They've got a bit of problem awareness. They've got some stuff. You've got people on the bottom step who are just starting to get problem aware. And then you've got the whole ground, which is where everybody is. And they're not sure at all in the slightest. So I want you to think about that when it comes to whatever you're doing in terms of your marketing. So what level are you talking to? Where are they at on that mountain block in terms of getting to work with you and being ready to work with you? And there are some people out there who are totally ready, and you could be marketing to the people on the top step right now. Totally. And that's what we kind of need. We need to be really aware of where people are on that journey with you and where you are showing up. So a lot of the time in my Facebook group, for example, I am talking to people who are kind of aware, but they're not always aware that they've got the problem. So I do a lot of stuff around understanding the symptoms, a lot of stuff around the problems, and then I talk about the solution. So really think about the level people are on. The next thing we need to discuss is point 2, which is that your audience doesn't buy logic. They buy feeling. So a lot of the time what I see people when they're marketing what they're doing, when they're marketing their business, they're talking about all the features. Right, it's this, it's this time, it's that time. But people don't genuinely make decisions based on how much is in it. Like I've got my coffee here. It's not a plug. good coffee here. I am not buying this for the features of, well, how big is my cup? And it's got a really good super lid. And yeah, I'm buying it for the benefit, I need a warm drink and I like coffee. So you need to think about that in terms of emotion. So when you think about like coffee and all the ways that all the big coffee places are, Starbucks, Costa, etc., they are not marketing just come and get coffee, are they? They're marketing the experience. They're marketing how it's going to make you feel. Right. So even on this, right, it says like it's got like it's a signature taste. So they're appealing to my senses, even with the cup, like even with the way that the cup feels, it's all part of the experience. So it's the same with your business. So people are going to make that emotional decision first. Like they love their horses. There's a lot of stuff going on there, but they want to know that they can trust you. They want to feel safe. They want some pride. They want some identity of who you're going to take them into becoming. Like what's the next step? They might want the comfort or the belonging. So I want you to think in terms of emotions. What is their emotional desire? What is their emotional reality? So it's not just solving logic, not just those logical problems in your marketing. We want to get them to feel, because when people feel something, that's emotion, and emotion creates motion, which is action, which gets people moving forwards. So my third point today that I want to talk about is like your message is often too broad to be memorable. A lot of the time, the message that you're sending out there is just too broad to actually land. If you're saying things like improve your confidence, get better results, support your horse, build a stronger partnership, we deal with the horse holistically, empower riders, right? Most horse owners will not hear themselves in that. It's nice, professional, but it's also vague and it won't hit with that emotional punch that we need. So you twist it around a little bit to really get inside what they're thinking, what they're saying, what they want. You would say instead, you're second guessing yourself every time you get on. So I'm going to help you with that. You leave the yard replaying everything that went wrong. So I'm going to give you something to go forward with so that you can actually do the work in between sessions. You don't trust what you're feeling, even when you know something's off, or you're doing all the right things with your riding, but you're still not getting the results that you want. People are going to stop. People are going to listen because that's the conversation that's already happening in their head, or that's some level of awareness that they've already got. So if you think about, again, where they are in terms of their mounting block, can you see how those are going to hit better than we're going to empower you and we're going to improve your confidence? Yep. So specific language is going to mirror their real life, and then your marketing is going to land with a much bigger punch. So when somebody feels understood, they're going to lean in and it's going to give you a much better result, because you're also then going to be memorable. They're going to think, oh my goodness, she's in my head. She really gets it. I trust her. So the 3 fixes that are going to work. So hopefully we've already got your brain going, okay, I could try this. I could try this. So if you've got a notepad, this is a good time to write these down. So the first thing that we need to do is clarity before content. So you must always be really dialed in with your offer, your audience, and where they are now. Now, I talk about this all the time. Positioning of now matters. So today, for example, we're in February. So I need to keep my marketing that I'm doing all this week very specific to February. If I start talking as if it's summer and spring, people will disconnect. So position it. Think about the message being really clear, the audience being really clear, the offer being really clear. No amount of social posts, no amount of blog posts will fix that. Clarity is the first thing that you need to do. So the marketing doesn't start with your content. It doesn't start with the platform. It starts with clarity. So you need to ask yourself some specific questions around, where is my ideal client right now? What are they thinking? What are they seeing? How are they feeling? What is my offer delivering for them right now? Why does that matter? And one of my favorite things is, so what? So what? So what? Until I really get to the crux, like, what is the real thing that's making them going to go, do you know what? Wow, that's what I need. Miss this step, you're going to be busy, you're going to be productive, but you might not get effective, and it's not going to change anything for you. So the second fix I want you to think about is speak to who they are, not just what they're struggling with. Who do they believe they are? Who do you believe they can be? Questions don't wake up one morning and think, oh, yay, 3 tips. Yay, I've got a new 3 tips, or anything like that. They want to feel that they can trust their own judgment. They want to feel calm instead of constantly doubting. They want to feel like they're doing the right thing. They want to feel like they're not missing something obvious, or not like they're struggling to to deal with this. If when your message protects their identity, they're going to listen, because most horse owners don't think I've got a problem. They don't think I've got a problem. They're not even aware that it's a problem sometimes. They know that they've got a sense of, well, I need something, something's off, but they don't always have the level of problem awareness to know what the solution is. They only know what the symptoms feel like. So you need to be talking into those symptoms. So they often think, I should be able to handle this. I should be able to fix this. I should know what the solution is. And they don't. They just know what the symptom is. So the third thing we're going to talk about is to name the problem that they haven't fully put into words yet. So horse owners don't buy help, right? A lot of the time we're selling the riding lessons, we're selling whatever, but sometimes it's not really what they want. They want to feel understood. And most people rush to reassurance, they rush to advice, when what actually Landon says, okay, let me tell you what I'm seeing, what you're saying. So you're saying this feels really hard right now. Is that right? You're saying you're stuck because of this and you feel like you're second guessing. Does that feel right? Rather than just rushing straight into the answers. Yeah, you're saying this is why it feels like you keep going around in circles. Okay, let me unpack this. Would you like some thoughts and help on this? Okay. And no, it's not because you don't care or you aren't trying, right? It's about slowing down and just mirroring it back to them a little bit more. Now, when you explain the experience, it's not just the fix, the trust is going to build more. They're going to feel like you listened. People don't feel listened to very much. There's just so much noise going around, but people genuinely don't feel listened to, especially in marketing. So when you bring that through in your blog posts, in your emails, in whatever it is you're doing, you will find it starts to land, but not just land for them, but it also starts you to think, oh my goodness, this makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. This feels so good to me. As a coach, one of my biggest jobs that I feel that I do is I just ask questions. I ask a lot of questions. I help people get out of their own way. I help them get out of their head. I reflect back what they just said to me and go, right, okay, let's explore that a bit more. And as a mentor, that's what I do. Then once we get through that, that's when I then go, right, okay, what do you think would be the easiest solution? And we then come up with the solutions. We don't go straight into the fix. Because sometimes that's just chucking a plaster on it and saying, get on with it. And then we know that the solution is often not going to fix the bigger problem. We're going to say less. We're going to try and say it properly so that the message lands. Owners don't need more posts, more tips, more noise. They need language that feels accurate, messages that make themselves feel recognized, and the same point made clearly more than once. Like, it's okay to keep repeating yourself until somebody thinks, yes, that's me. And if somebody does think that's me, you've already won. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. So if you want to check how to get your business a little bit more back into balance, do go and take the Equine Business Health Check. It will show you where like your business is overall and where you might need to be focusing a little bit more to get the results that you want. And again, do make sure you come and find me at the National Equine Show if you're going this year. So it's 2026. I will be there 28th of February, 1st of March, and I can't wait to actually meet you in person. Do come over and say hello. And of course, grab the Equine Business Reset, the little book that I've made special for it. Also, because we are now entering show season, I am so excited to announce that I am bringing you a series of podcasts purely on shows, trade shows, starting tomorrow with an episode from Karzan, which we recorded at the London International Horse Show at Christmas, where we talked about shows and how he was finding the London International. In addition to that, I went off and I interviewed a lot of equine business owners who had stands at the London International. And I have got the data to share with you. So I cannot wait to give you all the deets on that. So make sure you subscribe and I will be in your ears really, really soon.